If you're a weekend warrior like me, you only have a few hours in a week to grind, meaning that your Agris most of the time would be maxed out. So some of us wants to maximize our gain as much as possible for that short amount of time, and you can do that with the blue loot scroll, yellow loot scroll, and the Agris Fever. Before we proceed, just want to thank the people that have subscribed to my channel, and if you haven't yet, please do consider doing so, as I really plan to make more quality videos in the future just for you. Now, if you are not familiar with Agris, I included a link below to detail how to get it to max. With the Valencia spots being extremely buffed in terms of silver per trash loot, I decided to go and check which spots nets you the best money if you plan to grind only and always with Agris Fever. Now, a few things to note. This is for players that constantly have Agris available. Base and yellow loot scroll will always beat Agris Fever if you grind constantly past that for hours on a day. Now, the goal is to see how much money you get if you only grind for Agris, and it's up to you how to use that information. And this is to provide you on what and how many you get, and not intended to say what is best, as there are so many factors such as class AoE, skills unlock, how free the spots are, the time you grind actively on a day, and if your cat's main mission in life is to distract you while using your PC. So this video will just make Agris the main factor and not the time grinded. So section 1 is Agris consumption. So there's kind of like a common misconception on newer players that I talk to, especially in forums and Discord, that for each monster you kill, it's equivalent for each of the spots, and that is kind of false. You consume a fixed amount of Agris per monster depending on the area. So let's take a look at this Valencia table real quick. As you can see, I arranged it from the lowest loot to the highest and marked the group spots, since this requires a party of 3, but feel free to test it out. Personally, I haven't yet. So now for the solos. So Centaurs provides the highest loot of all at 21,800, and Crescent is at the lowest at 12,700. But if you observe column number 4, which is the Agris value, they have specific values for each of the spots. Now, what does this mean? So if you look at the next column, I'm putting there like the monsters that you would need to kill in order to exhaust your daily refresh of 20k, and also to exhaust max of 100k. So for example, Crescent Shrine, this consumes 7 per monster, and that means that you have to kill 2,857 in order to exhaust your daily, and 14,286 in order to consume everything. Now, if you look to like the Pilaku and the Road Sulfur, which has the highest Agris value consumption, you would see that you only need 1,667 and 8,333 in order to exhaust your Agris, meaning that you would kill lesser monsters, and then you would now resort to your yellow scrolls in order for you to get more loot. So just a refresher, just in case you don't know yet, the drop amount percentage and the consume Agris equals for a certain percentage. So for Agris plus the blue loot scroll, it's equal to 200%, or 1 times 200% plus the base one is 3. And if you are just running off of the yellow scroll without Agris, that's 100%, or plus the original amount, which is 1, so it's gonna be 2. So over here, since we already know that the base item is 1 loot, then it's gonna be blue loot scroll will be equivalent to times 3 as mentioned previously, and gold will be times 2, which is gonna be 2. So over here you will see that Taptar Plains is at the top at 65,700 per monster killed, followed by the Road Sulfur Mine, Pilaku, Gahads, Kadri, and Bashims. And then later on, if you run out of Agris, you want to continue, then the Taptar Plains is gonna be selling at 43,800, but it's followed by Latitium Valley at 43,500, 38,100. So what does this all mean? So let me give more context on the next one. So imagine there's 9 players that are grinding from Taptar Plains up until Crescent, so I'm excluding Wargon and Basilisk, again because I don't have like any data on it yet. So you would see that at max with the blue scroll and the Agris, Taptar is on the lead with 65,700 per monster, followed by Sulfur Mine 55,800, and so on and so forth. And then once they exhaust the Agris, it will drop down to, for the yellow loot scroll, at 43,800, which is still the top, for that bracket and 37,200. Now, if 9 players were grinding and they're killing the same amount of monster in that span of, you know, weekend, then you would see at 8,333 the amount that Road Sulfur Mine and Pilaku Jail needs to exhaust their Agris. They would make 465 and 409 million. So that's just from the mobs, not including like the other drops such as the Black Zone armors, weapons, and then Kafras and so on and so forth. So Top Tar 2 is on the lead. So like the only concern I have with Top Tar is like how far and wide the area is, and there's not really much to go on. If your character is a bit mobile, then this is really a top spot, but I find it difficult, even like, you know, with a Guardian or even Elan. It kind of like it's a hit or miss. So that's my only comment on that one. So as you can see over here that, you know, Road Sulfur Mine Pilaku beats everything else because of their sheer number of silver on the trash loot that they currently have. But once they go on to the next bracket, so for those 9 players, they're targeting 14,286 mobs, then you would see that there's a steep drop off for the Road Sulfur Mines and the Pilaku, because their money per loot has dropped from 55 to 37 and 49 to 32. But the Gahaz, the Bashim Base, Titium Valley, you will see that they're still at the constant 40 plus 1,000 mark. So that's why they're still pulling around 287, 280, 264, and 258, which is, you know, a good amount of money if you're talking about like, you know, lower geared player that is not even at 200 AP. And then the next one is once they target at 20,000 mobs, you will see that, you know, the decline is still there, and then it's still keeping for the areas that only is consuming small amount of Agris, such as, you know, the Bashim, Titium Valley Desert, which is just 3, and the Gahaz and Kadri at, you know, 5. So in summary, not to make this more complicated, is that of course Top Tar Plains or the Centauros would be the top because of the sheer number of silver that you get per mob. And then also you would see over here that because of Agris, Bashim Base, Titium Valley beats out Road Sulfur Mine. And the good thing about this one, you know, against Pilaku and Road Sulfur Mine, is that Bashim, Titium Valley, Desert, Naga, Gahaz, Kadri, those are low AP spots, so they're very open for beginners. So if any spot is not open, you could just like transfer over there. So Road Sulfur Mine is up there, but it does require 210 AP, and majority of the time it kind of is full, like the last time I visited. So you have a lot of other options, and the gold or the silver difference is not that much. But like on the last column, I also put it over there that if you're just like running without Agris, which is not the point of the video, then definitely Road Sulfur Mine would top out everything because of, you know, the sheer number of silver that you would get over there. Like I've been using the sheer amount of silver word, but you know, that's how it is. But if you are a weekend warrior, as I mentioned, and you're like me, you just want to maximize your gain, then definitely consider Titium Valley, as it has, you know, a lot of mobs, it's compact, it responds fast, and it also drops, you know, Kafras, the scrolls, and all of those stuff. So that's one thing that, you know, like the point of this video is all of these ones are good, but if you do want to maximize your gains, then you really don't have to go to the top spots in order for you to get those gains. So again, this is not to make this a point of, you know, which ranks better than the other. It's really up to you on your time, on the availability in your class. And I really hope that this information or this kind of review on these kind of spots has helped you out. And again, guys, if you think that you would want to see more of this video, please do leave a like and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you guys on the next video.